What's up, you guys? Welcome to another episode of Real Debates. And today's episode is going to be an amazing episode. So glad to get back into the saddle. This week's episode, we have no other than Lion King versus Moana. And repping Lion King is no other than last week's winner is Ian Elliott Carter, who whooped John Knight's ass in that last debate.
Wasn't that hard?
Funny. Very funny stuff. That's funny. Very funny stuff. And man, if you watch that last debate, you can tell that Ian was coming for blood. He was definitely dope in that match. And this week we have our returning guest, Mr. Jeremy Branch from Movies Are Terrible, repping Moana. How are you doing today, Jeremy?
Back with the Yeti mic, baby. With the Yeti mic gang. I'm good, man. I'm glad to be back. It's been a while. It's been a long time coming, and I'm excited to try to stand against the Goliath that is the Lion King. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah. We this is going to be an amazing match, guys. These are two films that I love, and today's topic is no other than what's the best Disney animated film. And these are two, although Lion King is the older film, these are two really good films that stand the test of time. Now, I would like to point out Ian's repping the original Lion King animated film.
Thank you for saying that fact.
Yes, not the live action animated film. I want to point that out so people are not confused. So even when I put it in the graphic, you'll see the cartoon animated film versus Moana. So just want to throw it out there for people who are confused. Now that I've gotten out the way, let's get into the rules of this match. Now, there will be 3 rounds. Each round is 2 minutes apart. The first round will be the introduction round. Both competitors are going to let us know why they chose what they chose and what it means to them and the culture of this match. In the second round, it's the battle round. They're going to go after one another. They can say whatever they want. They can draw conclusions and contradictions. By the way, if they mess up, there will be an instant replay. So like last season, there were a bunch of instant replays. Ian knows this for a fact. If he messes up, there will be an instant replay. Just same goes for Jeremy as well. And
I know everybody's name in the Lion King.
And our last and final round is final statements. They can continue attacking, or they can wrap things up and put it in a nice bow to sum up the things that they're saying. Now, Ian was last week's winner. Ian has the choice of choosing a number between 1 and 25. So, Ian, what is your number?
I'm gonna go with 9.
Okay, Jeremy, what is your number?
17.
Okay, Jeremy was closest. The number was 15. Jeremy, would you like to go first or second?
I'm gonna go second.
Okay, now Ian, you have. Hold on. Let me pull up my timer. I want to make sure we're accurate this season. Okay, 2 minutes. All right, Ian has now 2 minutes to give his introduction of the Lion King. So, Ian, your 2 minutes starts now.
Oh man, I don't know anyone that doesn't like this movie. The Lion King is just the epiphany of my childhood. As somebody that my father took me to see this movie, and my father is no longer with us anymore. But like just seeing that scene where Simba loses Mufasa hits you harder just because of that personal emotion for me. But it's not about me personally. Let's just talk about how good of a story this is, man. The music's iconic, and I still to this day hum and sing some of the songs. Every song is a hitter, by the way, and the performances are amazing. It was groundbreaking art for its time too. Like we look at it and we were like, oh, it's a dope cartoon, but like for its time, that was like some of the first times they were messing with computer animation instead of the hand shit. So it still holds up to this day. This movie came out 1993, I think 93 or 94.
Mm-hmm.
And to this day, I'm still watching it like it just came out. My son loves it, and every generation to this day is still loving it. It's funny. The humor is on par. The story is on par. I don't think I could say anything negative about this movie. Now we can obviously say negative things about the remake. And even like the sequels after, but like this right here, there's no touching the Lion King. This is the first black animation too. And Alex, I know how black things make you happy. So
Black things make me happy too, guys. That's why I'm here.
it's coming straight out of Africa, man. So the villain Scar, don't get me the characters as well, like Mufasa, Scar, Simba. These are people that you love and adore. Timon and Pumbaa, they're your best friends ever. And of course the sexy Nala, they got it on in the what's that song that they did? Sorry.
Can you feel?
We saw lion sex as kids, and it was not a problem. You know, just so many iconic moments in this movie, and I can't say anything but love for this, and that's why I had to grab it. This is the movie.
2 minutes. 2 minutes.
Like.
2 minutes. 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Definitely dope introduction. By the way, guys, I am not adding an additional points for that black comment. Yes, it is a black film, and it takes place in Africa. Amazing film. And you know, even in the remake, it was an all black cast. So I love the film, but I'm not adding any additional weight to that. But he had a dope introduction round. Ian is definitely right. It is a nostalgia film that lives the test of time. He mentioned that his son watches it and his son loves it. My daughter watches it. She loves it. I remember when Disney Plus came out, that was one of the first things that we watched. She loved it. So a lot of nostalgia, a lot of great points that he brought up in the introduction round. Now, it is now Jeremy's turn to give us 2 minutes of his introduction of the movie Moana. So, Jeremy, your 2 minutes starts now.
I have to start this off with saying that The Lion King is probably the best of the Disney Renaissance films from the 1990s. It is absolutely beautifully animated, and people tend to discredit CGI animation as if it's not rendered by some of the most brilliant artists working. I mean, it starts with the concept art, similar to Lion King, and it goes through all these different phases. That said, to say Moana is probably one of the most beautiful films I've ever seen. It's easily one of Disney's top 5, just from a perspective of animation alone. It's got the way that they render the water in it is just so cool. And I know that seems like a small thing, but it all builds to create this representation of a culture that we don't often see portrayed in film, right? The whole Polynesian Islands thing, this old kind of natives, tribal way of life and all of these things that this was a window into that, something that we'd never seen before. It is sort of a Disney princess story, but Moana is a character that certainly isn't like a damsel in distress. She's completely capable. Her whole thing about wanting to go out and travel the world and be an explorer as opposed to, you know, staying in this small community, I think is interesting, and it almost inverts what The Lion King is, where it's all about making this home you know, your purpose in life is to reign over this home. This is let's go out, let's explore, let's see what's beyond, you know, what we traditionally know. So that message of pioneering, I think, is really interesting. This is a fun movie with a fantastic cast. I mean, everybody from Jermaine Clements to Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, obviously, and I just feel like it hits all the beats. The music is wonderful. The animation is great. The voice performances are very, very good. And I like the fact that it's just unconventional. We don't have your traditional villain that we do in Scar. We've got something that's more of a concept.
2 minutes. By the way, that was a great point that you had at the end of not the traditional villain, but I would like to point out, Jeremy, when he started off this, one of the things that pointed out to me, which I think is a good point that he made, is that the CGI in this movie, the animation, looks beautiful. For a while, it kind of, when you watch it, even when you're in theaters and in TV, it sucks you into the element of being to Hawaii or whatever planet, but island that they are on, and to get to know the Polynesian and the Samoan culture. It was just an amazing film. I love the points that he made, that this is not your average Disney princess who is not in a damsel in distress. If anything, she's helping The Rock get to his objectives in that movie as well. Really, really great points by both competitors. Man, I can't even decide right now who won that round, but we'll definitely get into deliberations at the end of the match. Now it is time for the second round, which is the battle round. Now, as I stated before, they have 2 minutes to go after each other and say what they want. Now, Ian started off first with us in the first round. Jeremy's going to start off this round. Now, Jeremy, your 2 minutes starts now.
I am so glad that y'all brought up the point about the cast of The Lion King and how it's a black film because Jonathan Taylor Thomas is probably my favorite African American actor.
I knew you were gonna say that, bro.
He's it's fantastic. Damn! And of course, The Lion King is timeless, you guys. The Lion King is timeless because it's Hamlet. It was written by Shakespeare hundreds and hundreds of years ago. We knew it worked. That's the reason why we redid it. So yeah, okay, maybe it's an African movie or maybe it's an old English movie. Who knows? Who's to say, right? I think that it's a good film. If it's not Hamlet, it's Kimbo the White Lion, right? Like this is a remake of a remake of a remake. It's not original. It's been criticized for decades because of the fact that it just lifted an anime back before the internet when people didn't know that it was an anime.
What the fuck that even mean, man?
It is a good film. It really is. It's got some of the best songs that Disney's ever made. There's no debating that.
Down, I'm working on my
I will say the story, it doesn't really lock into much of anything. It starts off in the Pride Land, and then we get this whole big thing where he's just running around with Timon and Pumbaa for like a decade or whatever, and then Nala just shows up out of nowhere, and she's like, hey, this is your purpose, but he's like, I've been eating bugs for the last 20 years, but okay, now's the time to be king. So he goes back, and there's that epic fight with Scar at the end, but Scar is the most archetypal villain we've ever seen. He is the embodiment of what a bad guy should be, for better or worse. I just think that The Lion King leans so heavily into tropes that we've seen work so many times before that it doesn't stand on its own in presenting something that's unique.
Nobody gives a shit, Mike.
Or original. And while it is, again, beautifully animated, I just feel that it misses the mark from a storytelling perspective, and a lot of those things carried over to the remake, but we're not discussing that. I just feel like The Lion King's 90-minute runtime doesn't give the story room to breathe, and it doesn't expand the characters in a way that's really meaningful.
2 minutes. Let me just say before I pass it to Ian, he made some interesting points that I never really thought about. Personally, I never really thought about, which I'll dive more into in deliberations. But I am very eager to hear your response to that. So, Ian.
Yeah, I've never heard those critiques before.
Ian, your 2 minutes. Oh, this is going to be good. Your 2 minutes starts
Hold
now.
on, let me get this ready real quick. All right.
Oh, I cannot wait to put funny clips in this now. Oh, thank you for that prop. Thank you. Okay, now your 2 minutes starts now.
All right, listen here, you little bitch. Don't you ever disrespect Lion King like that.
Oh!
All right. Okay, so the story of Moana, very original. If you've never seen a story where, my neighbor, my family's in danger, I have to go on a quest to save them. Yeah, never heard that one before, and he's absolutely right. It is a rip-off of Kimbo the White Lion and Hamlet. Nobody's going to disagree with that. But I would say it perfected it and made it great for kids. So that's the only defense I have for that. As a child, nobody was watching Kimbo the White Lion. As a child, I wasn't reading Hamlet. I was 5 years old. But that Disneyfied it to make it viewed. I would say that the story is more complex than you're making it, though. The story is about Simba pretty much having PTSD.
You okay, kid?
I guess so.
You nearly died. I saved you.
The dude saw his father die right in front of him, and he got chased out by some fucked up hyenas, and he didn't want to go back to his problems. So, like, he's dealing with a lot of depression. He's dealing with a lot of things going on in his life. And the story is about, not running away from your problems, but facing your problems. And that's more deep than you're making it look like. You're just making it look like, oh, he ran away, and this is a ripoff of a movie. No, it's got a lot more layers than that. As for Moana, I do like the animation. I think it's groundbreaking. But like I said, I don't really feel like it's much of a new story. As a matter of fact, the only song I remember is You're Welcome by The Rock, which he did a very good job with that song, but I cannot name any other songs or sing any other songs from that movie, honestly. And maybe that's just my bias of loving The Lion King and other Disney classics more. Maybe other people know these songs more than I do, but honestly, for the life of me, if you put a gun to my head right now, I cannot name any other song from this movie. But I do acknowledge that it is a good movie. One of the best from the last 10 years, but honestly, it's more forgettable. So that's all I'm going to say about Moana. Good performance by The Rock, though.
Awesome. 2 minutes. Definitely good points. Definitely a great response as well. Man, oh God, I cannot wait to deliberate this. So
Let
now
the record show my dad's dead too. All right, don't put too much stock into that. All right.
No, fuck that. He doesn't care about fathers.
Hey.
I'm not putting any stock into any of those statements, okay? I'm gonna throw that out there. We're basing this argument off the facts and what was said. All this personal stuff is gonna be on the wayside, all right? I want to throw it out there for the viewers who are watching, okay?
All
now
right.
let's get into the final round, final statements, and man, whew, I cannot wait to see how these competitors are gonna wrap this up. Like I said before, they have 2 minutes. Jeremy started the last round. Ian's now going to start this round. Now, Ian, now's your chance to wrap up anything that you have to say about The Lion King. If you want to keep attacking Moana, you can. Your 2 minutes, sir, starts now.
All right, so I like that point that you made about Jonathan Taylor Thomas, because I thought it when I said it too. That's why it was very funny when you said that. But yeah, let's just take out the black stuff and the African stuff. It's just, but like, listen. When I watched Scar perform "Be Prepared," that fucking scared the shit out of me.
You're just not looking hard enough.
It's over. There is nothing left.
I don't know much scary moments in your movie besides like maybe the crab guy singing at people.
Like you used to, man. We're man. You can try.
Whatever. And like I said, the performances, the music, it still touches my heart. I have the vinyl over here. I don't have the vinyl of Moana because I don't know the songs of Moana. Besides, thank you very much, you're welcome, or whatever it's called. Making an impact, though. This movie right here makes everybody's like top 10. Like me, not just like Disney movies, but movies in general. And the animation, like I said, groundbreaking for its time. To see James Earl Jones do that's another iconic role for him in his belt. I don't think there's any other voice that I would rather see in a movie lecturing you about taking care of your responsibilities. And the monkey taught me a lot. You know what the monkey said? Like, hey, he whacked this man in not dinosaur. He whacked this lion in the face and said, hey, that hurts, but it's in the past. You know, it's pretty fucked up thing to do to somebody, but it's real. That's real. The past might hurt, but you got to move on from that.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's any better lesson in Moana than that. You know, you can't let the past define you. You got to keep moving on with your life. That is a very deep thing to teach to a 5-year-old or any children after that. Hell, as an adult, I got to listen to that and be like, you know what? That damn monkey was right. So I think this movie not only has great animation, better life lessons, but it's just more iconic and nostalgic when it comes to the music. Hakuna Matata, can't wait to be king.
Awesome.
All that shit.
2 minutes. Definitely great points. I loved the points that he made about, you know, again, being timeless and everything. And just the overall message of Lion King. Definitely great points that he made. Again, my comments and reservations will be saved towards the end of the match. Now, Jeremy has the same 2 minutes to give his final statements. Again, he can continue attacking or he can wrap things up. So, Jeremy, your 2 minutes starts now.
I want to lean into the originality thing. Nostalgia is a powerful drug. I mean, you look at everything from Stranger Things to Star Wars. People love nostalgia.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't a kid when I saw Moana. I was a child when I saw The Lion King.
No, you
so,
weren't.
Ian, the reason why you know all the songs to The Lion King and not Moana is because you own the Lion King album. You said it yourself. You own that, so you know the songs, where if you owned the album for Moana, you would know the songs as well.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
You talk a lot about impact, and it is impossible to deny that The Lion King is absolutely one of people of our generation's favorite films, so long as you were kids when you saw it. I'm sure the adults that saw it at the time wouldn't put it in their top 10 list. It's just not the way things work. But I feel like without the perspective of nostalgia, without this sentimental attachment that we have to seeing something as children, just strictly the story itself is exceptionally done. Lion King is one of the most beloved films. I saw it as a kid. It's beautifully rendered, all that kind of stuff. But you don't have to have that nostalgic attachment to appreciate what Moana was doing.
A demigod
What can I say except you're welcome?
Rafiki is the name of the baboon, by the way. And the world is a big place. It's not just the Pride Land. And I think that that's one of the things that Moana really talks about is going out and exploring the world and finding yourself through finding other things. And
Can't fix it. One more hit and it's over. Without my hook, I am nothing.
in The Lion King, he doesn't have that epiphany. He's just told by the girl he used to like that this is what he's supposed to do. So he goes and does it. That's cuck shit, Ian. You know better. You know better.
Henderson, you possum-faced motherfucker.
Okay, look, Lin-Manuel Miranda had just come off of Hamilton talking about like important African-American stuff. The Lion King just came fresh off Hamlet. So like this is something that you really can't compare the two of them because we had a lot of Hamlet adaptations. There's at least 7 of them that I found when I was looking into it, and there is only one Moana.
2 minutes. 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Wow. Wow. Wow, man. So far, we've only done 2 episodes of season 2, and this is probably my favorite one because for me, this is actually kind of hard to decide. Yeah. I have to say both competitors did a really good job explaining.
Actually have a good competitor, yeah.
Y'all, both of you guys came with the heat. And I have to say, as a judge, like in the Star Wars match, I hate being in this position because Ian and Jeremy, the way they articulate things, it really makes you think like, shit, I didn't even think about any of this stuff that they're bringing up. But I'm going to break this down by round. So in the first round, the introduction round, both competitors brought up really good points. Ian stated off by saying, Lion King essentially stands the test of time. It gives you an original, great story about, granted, yes, it's not an all black cast, but it takes place in an African nation with lions and basically lions being the king of the jungle. And he
Baby
basically
steps.
said,
Lions way more marketable than black people in the 90s.
Exactly. But Ian,
Kiss my ass, brotherfucker.
Ian basically gave us a really good, good introduction of the element and the feel of what Lion King gives you. It is a nostalgic relic that has stood the test of time. Again, he made a really good point when he said, when he watches it with his son likes it. Again, my daughter, my nieces and nephews, they love it. Still holds up. It came out in 92, 93, maybe 94. Yeah. In 2021, it's still a good relic to have on the show, but a good relic to have on in nostalgia. So I just think that he made a very exceptional points about the story and how much of an impact it has made. But Jeremy made an amazing point. Granted, Moana is more of a newer film. It captures you immediately when you watch the film. From the CGI to the storytelling to even the music, it catches your opinion. I stated before we started recording, I didn't know it was Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson singing until after I got done watching the movie. I did my own research and saw that he was credited. I didn't know that he was playing the bigger characters. I was just like, wow, like a wrestler singing in this movie, like I would never think that. So
I don't mean to insult the judge, but I think you're the only one on the planet that didn't know that was Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Am I right, Jeremy?
To be fair, I am not a huge, I am, but I'm not really a huge Disney animated movie. Like I have like 4 animated movies that I watch. Big Hero 6, Moana, Lion King, and maybe Dr. Seuss. That's not Disney, but that's like my animated movies for me. So that's why I'm not really heavily into it. But again, going back to Jeremy's points, he made some really good points in the introduction round. Now for those rounds, I again, like I said before, I really couldn't decide. And I have my notes on my notepad. I have to give them a tie. They were just on an equal playing field with that. I could not decide because they both had great introductions. Let's get into the battle round though. Jeremy started off in the battle round and he basically broke down Lion King into nuts and bolts. It is an adaptation of Hamlet and White Lion. It is like not direct adaptation, but it essentially mirrors a lot of those things. He also broke it down to the point where, Simba, granted, he did see something tragic with his father. Simba just goes away for like a decade, comes back as a huge lion, and then becomes king all because some girl that he liked when he was a kid told him to. I mean, when you break that down, it's like, damn, like, yeah, he did really just do that. Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
my point about PTSD didn't mean anything. Sorry.
I'm going to
good,
get
Ian.
to that. I'm going
It
to
was
get to
good.
that. I'm going to get to that. I'm going to get to that. But anyway, he made some very exceptional points about that movie where I'm like, okay, if you break it down to nuts and bolts and look at the direct comparisons, yeah, it is. I mean, Shakespeare wrote it. We've seen this before. It's just now in an elevated time, it's being told in a very nostalgic way. Now let's get into Ian's points. Ian made a really good point. It's PTSD. If I saw my father die, if I saw my family, someone I love die, yeah, it's gonna F me up. I can't say that, people are gonna get over things, let alone animals. So I get it. That being said, Ian made a really good point that I had to agree with. Aside from certain songs of Moana, Moana doesn't have a memorable song list than Lion King.
Yeah, you're
Lion
right.
King has been I know this for a fact. The songs in Lion King are being played in schools than Moana songs are. I'm talking about the original Lion King. So I love that point that he made. I also like the point that he made that it's not just about a nostalgic movie. It's about bringing certain things to life that stand the test of time in this particular genre. So he made a really good point that Moana, although I can argue that Moana is still in people's top 10, but I can also argue that Lion King is probably top 5. And he made a good point because if you watch the evolution of that movie, people of our generation now are still watching that movie. So great points. But I have to go back to what Jeremy said. He hit Ian with that point that, I'm gonna go point out something. This whole black movie thing. Yeah, that's actually not the case. So okay,
That was funny as hell.
He made a really good point. Now, judging both of those battle round statements, I have to give that one to Jeremy. Jeremy did a better job arguing his point and critiquing Lion King. Ian had a great point as well, but Jeremy did a better job. Now let's get into the
never
final.
thought about the PTSD thing before. That is a really good point. It probably explains why he just like says F it and doesn't, you know what I mean? Doesn't do anything. So that's a good call.
Right. Now we're going to get into our final statements from both competitors. Now, Ian again said some things about the nostalgia efforts of Lion King. He also said that the songs in this movie are a whole lot more memorable. Again, it's beautifully made. He basically rehashed the points that he said before. He also made a good point that it's more about, like he said, not just the PTSD, but the family aspect of it as well. When you go through something like that, you have to go away or you have to find a place of solace to build yourself back up. And the baboon that he was referring to, as Jeremy pointed out, Rafiki, the name of the character, basically told him you have to not dwell on the past. You have to keep going and keep pursuing what's in front of you. And I think Ian made a really good point with that. Like, Lion King, in a way, is a roadmap to a lot of people's lives. Like, something tragic happens, and then you evolve from it. And essentially, that's what Simba did in that movie. But I want to go to what Jeremy said really quickly with his points. I love the point that he made that in terms of nostalgic, we watched those movies as kids. Granted, I get it. If you watch it as kids, you kind of carry those nostalgic things with you. But I have to agree, there's some adults who've watched the original Lion King. They're like, it's not my top 10, and I don't hold it the same way as you hold it. Like, my parents don't hold it like that. And Jeremy made a good point. When you watch when you watch it as an adult, not all the adults feel the same way. Also, when you look
Who
at
are these fucking people that don't think it? I'm sorry.
also,
My
he
dad
also
doesn't
made a
like
really
it, but
good
he's
point
dead.
Towards Ian when he said, you said it yourself, you bought the vinyl. So of course you're gonna know all the songs. Of course it's gonna be a lot more memorable. If you had the vinyl for Moana, if there is one, I doubt there is, but if there is one, you're gonna know the songs for that as well. I would argue though, Moana is a lot more creatively, the songs are a little bit more, I won't say they're more better, but they are creatively unique in comparison to The Lion King. So yes, I can make the argument, although my child and people's kids love The Lion King, you know, if you watched it as a kid and as you get older, you have that nostalgic look at it, yes, it's going to feel some type of way. But to Jeremy's point, when Jeremy watched it, he wasn't a kid. So yes, it's a great movie, but he doesn't feel the same way that you feel the same way about it. But yeah, going back to what Jeremy said, Jeremy pointed out some really good points in regards to Moana and Lion King. Again, if you are not an adult, if you're not a kid and you saw this as an adult, it doesn't necessarily have that nostalgia in it. That doesn't diminish Ian's point, because again, a lot of films have been created solely because of Lion King and what Lion King did. If you look at Tarzan, you look at Little Mermaid, a lot of those people draw from Lion King in terms of animation, style, and songs. And all those two movies I named are, well, except for Tarzan, they're essentially musicals, but they're in the same Disney sphere. Tarzan actually has a lot of music in it, but the characters are not singing. So I just wanted to add that in it. But yeah, again, he made some really, really good points about those. Now, this final statement round was actually hard for me as well, because Ian again, it made some really good points about nostalgia, but at the same time, Jeremy knocked it out of the park when he said that yes, nostalgia is the ultimate thing that helps these films, but that is not. It doesn't suit everyone's narrative. This is so hard for me because I love these movies. And before we did this debate, I watched both of these movies and I enjoy them like they are like candy. Okay. After we took our little mini break and I was going through my notes, damn, I have to say this, but I tend to agree with Jeremy a little bit more than I do with Ian. So Jeremy has to take this win. Jeremy,
I'll take it.
Better job articulating Moana better than Lion King. And I hate to say that. I really do, because I really believe Lion King is the better film. But when you break everything down, I'm like, wow. And by the way, it's a hairline margin. Yep. But you know what? A win is a win. So today, Jeremy took the W. Man, Jeremy, how do you feel about this win, man? How do you guys feel about this match?
Well, first of all, it's very, very difficult to say anything disparaging about The Lion King. I'm sure you're going to get heat from the people that see this, that decide right off the bat if this is a Greatest Showman versus Straight Outta Compton. I was the Greatest Showman in this debate. So I feel
I respect that you challenged yourself, and you fought this a lot harder than I did. Honestly, I came in here really cocky, thinking okay, whatever. I'm gonna argue one of my favorite movies of all time. But honestly, I could have came a little harder. I think that you deserve this W.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, it was fun. Me and Ian have been arguing for quite a while at this point, so I think we do it well together. It's always fun.
For sure.
Oh man, and I want to thank you guys, both competitors, for this match. Jeremy will definitely be excelling, and you know what? Next week we're gonna have a very interesting match, because I know this is 2021. We want to evolve. The whole theme for Momentum Media throughout this point on is evolving. So this time I'm going to be going against Jeremy, and we're going to have Ian moderate. I don't know what the topics are just yet, but when you see it, it's going to be dope. And man, I can't wait to see what we're going to debate. And I love the fact that our Real Debates community and just their communities around our channels have evolved in so many ways. And I think that I want to thank you guys for continuing coming back and watching this show. It's an amazing thing that we all started together, and I love the fact that it keeps progressing. So thank you guys so much for being a part of the show. I couldn't do this without Jeremy or Ian, so they're amazing at what they do. Please, guys, like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channels. Go over to Movies Are Terrible and to the Controversity. They have some great content coming out, a lot of great things that they've been doing. By the way, that VR footage that Jeremy has been doing, it makes me want to buy my own VR system and to a degree. And I don't know if Jeremy feels this way. It looks like Ready Player One, but in real life.
It does, yeah.
In real
awesome.
life. I was like, yo, I really want to buy that now. I should have got it for Christmas. But
I wish you would. We could play together, man. It's super cool.
Awesome. I definitely would do that.
I'm not playing with you nerds.
I know, man. I know.
But thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe to our YouTube channels where you get all the updates every time we're releasing a video. Tune in next week for an exciting match between me and Jeremy. It's going to be a lot of fun. Thank you guys so much for watching. And as always, you have a blessed day.